Hello, and welcome to Real Talk English. I'm Emily. Today, we're talking about something that matters a lot, but doesn't always get taught in textbooks: expressing emotions in English. Whether you're speaking with colleagues, friends, or family, choosing the right words for how you feel makes a huge difference. Over the next 30 to 45 minutes, Jack and I will explore common feelings, explain the subtle differences between them, and give you practical phrases you can use right away. Ready, Jaka?
Absolutely, Emily. Hi, everyone. As someone who moved into new teams and cultures, I know how tricky it can be to find the right words. I still remember the first time I told my manager I'm overwhelmed, and how that opened up a real conversation. So I'm excited to share examples and practice with listeners.
Great. Let's start with a quick roadmap. We'll follow 9 short segments: introduction to emotional vocabulary, talking about stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, small annoyances like irritation and frustration, nervousness and worry about the future, sadness and low moods, positive states, relaxed and confident, a realistic workday scenario, how tone and context change meaning, and finally, a wrap-up with practical tips. We'll pause for small exercises along the way. Sound good?
Sounds perfect. Let's go.
Sounds perfect. Let's go. Segment 1, Introduction to Emotional Vocabulary. Why learn these words? Well, emotions influence how we function at work and in life. When you can name a feeling clearly, I'm stressed versus I'm anxious, people understand you better and can respond more helpfully. Also, using the right words helps you process how you feel. So we'll start by defining a few words simply and clearly, and then build phrases around them.
Right. Also, one important point: emotions are on a scale. We often use small modifiers to show intensity: a little, slightly, kind of, really, totally. So learners don't need a huge set of words, just a handful and the ability to adjust intensity. For example, I'm a little nervous versus I'm really nervous. Same word, different level.
Exactly. Another important tip: context matters. You might tell a close friend, I'm freaking out, but at work, you'd say, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now. Different words, different tone. We'll give formal and informal examples as we go. Okay, moving to segment 2, the pressure of daily life: stressed, anxious, and overwhelmed.
This is my favorite to discuss because I've lived it. Let's define first. Stressed often means you're under pressure. Deadlines, too many tasks, time pressure. Anxious is more about fear or worry, sometimes without a clear reason, and it can be physical: racing heart, tense muscles. Overwhelmed is when there are too many demands at once. You can't manage everything. They overlap, but they aren't identical.
Good definitions. Practical sentence patterns: I'm stressed about the project deadline. I'm anxious about the interview. I'm overwhelmed with my workload this week. You can also use present continuous: I'm feeling stressed. That sounds natural and current.
And small, useful additions: I'm under a lot of pressure, or I have a lot on my plate. Those are great for workplace English. For example, Emily, I'm under a lot of pressure to finish this feature. Could we prioritize? Simple and polite.
Let's offer a short practice. I'll say a situation, and Jaka, you give a natural response using one of those words, and listeners repeat after him. Scenario: a manager asks you to take on a last-minute task while you already have 2 deadlines. Go.
I might say, thanks for letting me know. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now because I have 2 deadlines today. Could we discuss which task is most urgent? Listeners, say that out loud.
Nice. A small variation for a friend could be, I'm really stressed about work. I can't switch off. Or, I'm feeling anxious about tomorrow's presentation. Use what fits your relationship with the person.
One more tip. When you need help, use overwhelmed plus a request. I'm overwhelmed. Can you help me with this? Clear, honest, and likely to get support.
Segment 3. Small annoyances and patience. Irritated and frustrated. These are everyday feelings. Irritated is often a short, mild reaction to something annoying, like a noisy neighbor or slow internet. Frustrated is stronger and usually linked to a blocked goal, when something keeps you from finishing a task.
Yeah, you might be irritated when someone interrupts you in a meeting. You'd be frustrated if the team's software bugs prevent you from delivering your work. Practice phrases. I'm getting a bit irritated by the constant notifications. I'm frustrated that the report keeps getting rejected. They're useful in both personal and professional settings.
We should also give softer ways to express irritation at work. Instead of, you're being annoying, try, I find it a bit distracting when, or could we pause interruptions during the meeting? That keeps it polite and constructive.
And when you're frustrated, name the goal. I'm frustrated because I can't access the database, and it's slowing the whole team down. That helps others understand the impact and encourages problem solving.
Quick role play. 𝐄𝐦𝐨𝐵, imagine a teammate keeps sending edits in the wrong file. How would you speak to them politely?
I'd say, hey Sarah, I'm a bit frustrated. I've received several edits in different files, and it's causing confusion. Could we agree on one file to use going forward? Short, clear.
Perfect. Segment 4. Navigating uncertainty. Nervous and worried. These are future-focused. Nervous is often about specific upcoming events, an interview, a presentation. Worried can be broader and sometimes imagines negative outcomes. For example, I'm nervous about my talk tomorrow, versus I'm worried the market could slow down next quarter.
Also, physical signs can help you choose the word. Nervous often comes with butterflies, sweaty palms. Worried might feel like a persistent thought that doesn't go away. But again, people use them interchangeably sometimes, and that's okay.
Helpful phrases like, I'm a little nervous about, I'm worried that, you can soften, I'm a bit worried we might miss the deadline. Or emphasize, I'm really nervous about presenting to investors.
And if you want to ask for reassurance, try, I'm a bit nervous. Could you give me some tips before I present? Or, at work, I'm worried about the timeline. Can we review the schedule together? That invites collaboration.
Short listener exercise. Imagine you have a job interview on Monday. Speak aloud. I'm a little nervous about the interview on Monday, but I've prepared. Repeat and change the intensity. I'm really nervous. I'm not sure I can. And then try the helpful follow-up. Could you do a quick mock interview with me?
Mock interviews are lifesavers. Emily, I remember practicing with a friend 3 times and feeling much calmer on the day. So practice really helps reduce nervous feelings.
Segment 5. Reflecting on sadness and low moods. This is a gentle topic. Sad is a general feeling of unhappiness. In a bad mood is usually temporary and might not have a clear cause. Important, we must be sensitive when talking about sadness. It's more private for many people.
Right. Language examples. I'm feeling sad today is simple and honest. I'm in a bad mood can explain being short with people without going into personal detail. I'm sorry, I'm in a bad mood today. It's nothing personal. That helps maintain relationships while acknowledging your state.
Also, encourage listeners to use softer phrases if they're not ready to share. I'm feeling a little down, or I've had a rough day. These are natural and commonly used. And if someone tells you they're sad, good responses are, I'm sorry you're feeling that way, or do you want to talk about it?
A short anecdote. Once I said to a colleague, I'm feeling a bit down today, and they simply brought coffee and listened for 5 minutes. It helped more than I expected. Small gestures matter.
Let's look at how to express positive states. Relaxed means calm and free from tension. Confident means you trust your abilities. These words boost communication and show readiness.
Examples of, I'm feeling relaxed after our team offsite, or I'm confident I can finish this task by Friday. Both are useful in meetings and when setting expectations.
You can express partial confidence, I'm fairly confident, or I'm not 100% confident yet, but I can get there. For relaxation, phrases like, I'm feeling pretty relaxed about the timeline, or I'm trying to stay relaxed are common.
And body language matters here. Saying I'm confident with upright posture helps. Saying I'm relaxed while smiling or using calmer tone reinforces the message. We'll discuss tone more in the nuances segment.
Segment 7. Contextualizing feelings in real conversations. This is where we combine terms into a narrative. 𝐨𝐭𝐢𝐨𝐧, do you want to set up a realistic, busy workday where you might use several of these words?
Sure. Picture this. It's Tuesday morning, you woke up late, your code review has a lot of comments, and you have a client meeting in an hour. You're juggling tasks, and a teammate asks for help. How do you describe your feelings? I might say, I'm a bit stressed, I woke up late, and I have a client meeting soon. Also, I'm feeling overwhelmed with the code review comments. Could we prioritize the most critical issues? That's 3 words in one short conversation.
Listeners, try to repeat that. I'm a bit stressed. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Could we prioritize? It's direct and polite. Another variation for a friend. I'm in a bad mood because I had a rough morning, but I'm trying to stay relaxed before the meeting. Both show honest self-expression.
In that scenario, if the client meeting is what's making you nervous, say, I'm a little nervous about the client meeting. Do you have any quick notes I should know? That asks for help and shows vulnerability in a professional way.
Let's role-play a short exchange. I'll be the manager, you're the engineer. Manager, Jake, can you take on this extra ticket? Go.
Thanks for the request. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with the code review and the client meeting in an hour. I can take the ticket on if we can push the deadline or if someone can help with the review.
Perfect. That shows clarity and offers solutions. Segment 8. Nuances of expressing moods, tone, and context. This is crucial. The same words can sound different depending on tone, volume, and body language. For example, I'm fine can mean truly okay, or it can mean the opposite if your tone is flat.
Yes, a few practical tips. Soften bad news with a bit or slightly when you want to be gentle. I'm a bit worried. If you need to be direct, use full expressions. I'm very frustrated. At work, combine emotion with an actionable request. I'm frustrated. Can we change the process? That helps turn feelings into constructive steps.
Also, consider formality. With a manager or client, you might say, I'm concerned about the timeline, instead of, I'm worried. With friends, I'm worried is fine. In emails, tone is even more important. Choose clear phrasing. I'm concerned about, or I'm worried that. rather than vague emotional words.
We should mention cultural nuance too. In some workplaces, people avoid emotional words and prefer factual language. If that's your environment, translate feelings into facts plus impact. Instead of, "I'm overwhelmed," say, "I have 3 high-priority tasks due Friday. I need help prioritizing." But if your workplace is open to emotional language, being honest can build trust.
Short interruption. Listeners, a quick check-in. How are you feeling right now? Say it out loud. I'm a little... Fill the blank and practice. This helps make naming feelings a habit.
I said, "I'm a little hungry," when I checked. But naming it helped me decide to get water and a snack. Small wins.
Segment 9. Conclusion and wrap-up. We'll summarize key takeaways and give a practical plan for listeners to practice over the week.
Summary. 1. Learn a handful of core words: stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, irritated, frustrated, nervous, worried, sad, relaxed, confident. 2. Use intensity markers: a bit, slightly, really. 3. Combine feelings with requests or facts at work. 4. Adjust tone and formality to your audience. 5. Practice aloud and use small role plays.
A practical one-week plan. Day 1, pick 3 words and write 1 sentence for each describing a recent moment. Day 2, practice saying those sentences out loud. Day 3, try a role play with a friend or recorder. Day 4, practice softening phrases. Day 5, use at least 1 phrase at work or with a friend. Day 6, reflect on reactions. Day 7, repeat and expand your vocabulary.
And some quick troubleshooting. If someone doesn't respond supportively, don't take it personally. Say, "I just needed to share that. Thanks for listening." Or follow up with a practical solution. "I'm worried because of X. Can we do Y?" That keeps the conversation productive.
Before we close, let's give listeners a cheat sheet of natural phrases they can use. I'll say them slowly. Repeat after me. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now. I'm a little anxious about tomorrow. I'm getting irritated by the constant emails. I'm frustrated that the system keeps crashing. I'm feeling sad today. I'm in a bad mood. I'm in a bad mood. I'm feeling relaxed after lunch. I'm confident I can handle this task. Say them out loud.
And a few more workplace-focused phrases. Could we prioritize these tasks? I need some support with this deadline. I'm concerned about the schedule. I appreciate your help. I'm feeling better already. Those phrases combine emotion and action.
Let's include some short practice dialogues you can copy. Dialogue 1, informal. A, you okay? B, not really. I'm feeling a bit down today. A, do you want to talk? Easy. Dialogue 2, workplace. A, can you take this ticket? I'm a bit overwhelmed with a client meeting in 30 minutes. Could you assign it to someone else or push the deadline?
You seem tense. I am. I'm stressed about the release. Could we do a quick pairing session? That shows honesty and seeks collaboration.
Now, a few language tips. 1. Use contractions to sound natural. I'm rather than I am in casual speech. 2. Use small hedges for politeness. I feel or I'm a bit help soften statements. 3. Use action requests. Could we? Would you mind? That moves the conversation forward.
Audio profile. Jackie. This is an audio episode. Conversational, educational, and empathetic about expressing emotions in English for intermediate English learners, B1 to B2 level, who are looking to improve their fluency and soft skills for both professional and personal communication. The conversation is already underway. The previous line was, requests, could we, would you mind? That moves the conversation forward. Style, conversational, educational, and empathetic. Maintain an informative, articulate, and grounded tone that reflects your background as an engineer. Use a natural, conversational rhythm with slight emphasis on descriptive, emotional words to highlight their practical application in the workplace. Keep your delivery sincere and relatable, sounding like a supportive peer sharing genuine life experiences. Pronunciation tip: stress the emotional word to make it clear. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed versus I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. Actually, put stress on the second syllable, whelmed. Practicing stress helps clarity. Also, intonation. Rising voice at the end makes it a question. Falling voice is a statement.
We also want to remind listeners about nonverbal cues. Face, posture, and breathing all influence how your words are received. If you say, "I'm fine," but your shoulders are tense and your voice is flat, people may pick up on the mismatch. Align your words and body for clearer.
A small breathing exercise for nervousness. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Do that once before a meeting and say to yourself, I'm a bit nervous, but I'm prepared. It calms the body and gives your brain a clearer space to choose words.
Now we'll give some softening language examples you can use when you want to be polite. I might be mistaken, but I'm a bit worried about the deadline. I wonder if we could. These make tough conversations easier.
And for stronger but polite pushback, I understand the request, but I'm quite overwhelmed. If it's urgent, I need a hand. Otherwise, I can do it tomorrow. That protects your workload while staying professional.
Let's do one more realistic example. A full short story you can listen to and repeat parts of. I'll narrate and Jockey will play a colleague. Story: it's the end of the day, you have 3 unresolved bugs, and your manager asks for an immediate update. Here we go.
3 unresolved bugs, and your manager asks for an immediate update. Here we go.
Sure. I'm feeling a bit stressed because I have 3 unresolved bugs and a high-priority client fix. I'm a little overwhelmed with the time pressure. I can work late, but I'd like to prioritize which bug to fix first so I can be most effective.
Thanks for being honest. Which bug is causing the biggest issue?
Bug number 2 is the root cause. It's causing the client errors. If we focus on that one tonight, we can release a fix. I'm confident I can resolve that if someone reviews my PR.
Okay, let's do it. I'll arrange a reviewer and shift the other bugs to tomorrow. That exchange shows naming feelings, stating facts, and asking for a clear next step.
Listeners, try the story again, swapping roles with a friend, or record yourself and listen back. Hearing your own voice helps internalize the language.
Before we end, let's mention a few common mistakes learners make. 1, saying only I feel without specifying. I feel bad can be unclear. 2, using strong words too casually. I'm dying to mean I'm tired can be confusing. 3, not offering a next step. People often want to help, so give them something practical to do.
Those are great. Also, don't be afraid to be vulnerable in moderation. Saying, I'm a little anxious, can build trust, but be mindful of workplace boundaries and follow up with solutions where possible.
And practice with context. Use your real situations. If you're preparing for a meeting, write 2 lines: how you feel and what you need. Example, I'm nervous about presenting. Can someone give feedback on my slides? Simple and effective.
Okay, wrap-up checklist for listeners. 1, choose 5 words from today's list. 2, make 2 sentences for each. 3, Practice aloud daily for 5 to 10 minutes. 4. Use at least one sentence with a colleague or friend this week. 5. Keep a short mood diary, one sentence per day about how you felt and why.
And one last practical encouragement, language learning is about trial and error. Your phrasing doesn't have to be perfect. The important thing is to try. Most people will appreciate your honesty and effort.
Final thought. Emotional literacy in English is not just vocabulary. It's a set of skills: naming feelings, adjusting intensity, choosing tone, and asking for what you need. These skills build stronger relationships and smoother workdays. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, try the 1-week plan and tell us how it goes. And hey, if you want, email us a short sentence using one of today's words. We'll read some in a future episode.
Bye for now. Remember, notice your feelings, name them, and speak kindly to yourself. See you next time on Everyday English Essentials. Take care.
Bye!